especially with what you do in regards to our community, helping people, saving kids. I want to be able to provide a platform for that, because it's, especially when there's people out there that don't have those others to help them, seeing it online, seeing that there are people out there that still care and that's putting in that effort to help them, that's going to make a difference with them.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good people here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of good people in this valley doing a lot of great work.
Yeah.
So, I'm only one guy, but together we can make a big impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
and that's what it's all about. There's a lot of hurting people in the valley. I mean, the things that I know about that go on here, heinous stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, like, especially with kids, for example, it's horrible, the fact that, like, I was reading a brochure that was distributed out from the state, and it was saying that like, the state of Arizona is a bad hotspot for trafficking, for sex trafficking, child trafficking, and there's, like,
for sure.
Yeah, and I think it said that there's, like, over 78,000 customers out here for that type of solicitation, and I was
78,000, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I have a friend, that's what she does. She goes around and rescues these girls.
Yeah.
So I'll ask her and she'll know for sure, but that's interesting. I know it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Where I go in the zone, they call it the zone. It's where all the tents are downtown.
Okay.
Just right up from the ballpark, 3 or 4 blocks. There's all kinds of, every kind of activity under the sun going on down there.
Yeah.
So that's why I go to that area. That's where the most need is.
Yeah, and that's so bad too. Like, it really breaks my heart to see stuff like that happening, and that's why, like, I also myself feel compelled to help in what way I can.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to help me anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
And anybody listening as well. I never know who's going to be helping me or not.
Mm-hmm.
But the show goes on either way.
Yeah.
So I just make other arrangements. You know what I mean? I am so blessed. I had taken my foster son to get baptized one night. And I went up to get a bag of chips at the counter when I was eating chips back then. And I met this young lady that was going on a missions trip, so I was telling her about the outreach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go up to get another bag of chips, and then she introduced me to this guy and said, "Hey, Rob does some really cool stuff out there." And he goes, "Hey, would you like a donation?" And I go, "Sure." And he goes, "Be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and I'll have some stuff for you." And I didn't even know what the guy was going to give me.
Oh, really?
No, I had no idea. I said, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 3. So I pull up at 3 o'clock. They gave me probably at least 200 meals. They give me at least 200 to 300 meals a week.
Wow.
And, I mean, guy made me cry. First time. I was just overwhelmed by it. So, before I would have to cook, hustle, make money to feed the people. Yeah. Now, it's just like I pull up at 3 o'clock. They push a big oven out to my car, truck, whatever I'm driving. Carry huge crates of food out, load me up, and away I go.
That's
so
awesome.
It is just one of the biggest blessings of my life. And it all happened over a little bag of Lay's potato chips. And you couldn't make something like this up.
Yeah.
It's all God, But I've been feeding the homeless since 2008.
Okay.
Just started Bird City Outreach really over COVID.
Oh, wow.
Because there was still a huge need. People were afraid. I'm not playing the game. Mm-hmm. So I was just making sack lunches, whatever I could to drive around in the car, give them my Romans roads, all my stuff about Jesus with it, of course.
Yeah.
And just hand them food, talk with them, tell them Jesus loves them. And my son started doing it with me, and he's like, "Man, Papa, we got to get a name for this." And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, we need to name the outreach. I go, Josh, come on now. And he goes, we got to name it Bird City Outreach. Well, that's really the gangster name for Phoenix. The
Really?
gang, the street name for Phoenix on the gang is Bird City.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and my son, he's been around. He knows it all in the streets, of course.
Wow.
And so we stuck with Bird City.